The scariest thing about coronavirus is that the person who's making this video, that is me, even if I have coronavirus, I wouldn't know it, you wouldn't know it. Yes, I didn't know it. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. In my previous video, I said that I will make a full-on video about coronavirus, my experience with it, what it put me through and how exactly I came out of it. So this video is completely going to be about that, my experience with coronavirus and what I think about it since my recovery. It was the month of October and it was just another regular day of work. And as the day was about to get over, everything was done and I was prepared to leave home, I felt extremely uneasy. I wasn't sure why I was feeling a certain way, but I felt extremely fatigued, and this was a kind of fatigueness that I have not experienced before. It's something that doesn't usually happen to me, and it was there since afternoon, and it just spiked up, and around the time it was evening, when it was getting dark and all, I was feeling very fatigued, and I thought that it was time to stop work and go home. I went home and I wouldn't eat much. I went to sleep straight away, like very soon. I usually don't sleep that soon. I slept around 7:38 at that night, and early morning I woke up by myself around 5:30, and I had an extreme high fever, and I wasn't sure what was happening, and that fatigueness was very much there. So I took around 2 to 3 paracetamols, not at once, but over a span of 6 hours, 2 to 3 paracetamols, and it just wouldn't work out. So I was kind of getting in that thought, this was October, and this was the time where things were getting back to normal, and the government was relaxing the lockdown step by step, and people were just getting busier, people were traveling a lot, buses were out, and so obviously I had that thought. I was thinking, you're having fever, you're feeling fatigued, you're feeling weak, you're not like before. So this was the time where anybody would think that they need to get checked for COVID, and that was my thought at that time as well. So, but I did not give any serious, didn't do anything about it at all. I just thought it was in my mind. The next day, I thought the fever would have been gone. That's what usually I do. Whenever I get sick, I take tablets, I rest, next day I'm good. But this time that wasn't the case. The fever was still the same, and I was feeling a lot more fatigue, and this is where the physical pain chipped in. And I did not know where it came from. It was not physical soreness or muscle soreness from the gym, because I did not hit the gym for 3 days during that time. So I couldn't track back how it came for me, but I was feeling sore in my hamstrings and my back, and I did not know where this came from. I was feeling extremely hurting, and it wasn't the kind of hurt which was unbearable, but it was pretty much relevant. That physical pain was there, and it started chipping in, and the fever started going down, and I couldn't understand this. It was crazy. And right after this, I decided to get myself tested, and I got myself tested, and even though I had all the proper symptoms of COVID-19, I was tested negative. But I couldn't take it lightly, because the people who spent time with me exactly a week ago was going through the same symptoms as I did. And this was something which was told to me in the medical circle as well. There were a lot of people who had all the proper symptoms of COVID-19, but they were tested negative. And then there were people who had no symptoms of COVID-19, but they were tested positive. So I was asked to home quarantine for about 12 to 14 days, irrespective of what my test showed. And apart from all this, I knew that something was wrong with me. But later on, this is where it got hard for me. 4 or 5 days into home quarantine, I was losing my voice. This became a problem because I was gasping for breath if I spoke for 10 seconds or more. And that is the exact reason why I was unable to make videos. And this became an issue for me because it started affecting the simple things that I used to do. For example, talking. I just couldn't talk. I just couldn't talk to anyone. And if I tried too much, I was coughing terribly. The terrible coughing and gasping for breath was a huge issue. And even after I recovered from COVID-19, that was an issue for me for almost 2 to 3 weeks, right after I recovered from Corona. So during my home quarantine, I put myself under an extremely high protein diet, and I was taking a lot of multivitamin tablets, vitamin C tablets, zinc acetates, azithromycin, and some medicinal, herbal syrups and kashayams for the recovery of COVID-19. And post this, it was around the 13th or 14th day, I was kind of feeling better, and I thought that it was safe for me to go out, and it was safe for everyone else as well, because I was wearing my mask and the sanitary thing, the whole prescription by the government and the medical professionals. And later on, after I recovered from COVID-19, the physical impact was the most detrimental. I was not as strong as I was before. I was unable to do things that I used to do before. It took me a lot of effort, especially to move heavy things and heavy objects, and it has weakened me down. I completely felt that. I was so weak, and this was pretty much significant in the gym, which I went another 2 to 3 weeks after I recovered from COVID, and I was not the same as I was before. I was very much weak, and I've leaned out. I've lost around 5 to 6 kgs, I think, lesser than that, but I was weaker, and that took a lot of time. That took almost 1.5 months for me to get back my old strength, to be back to myself. Now I'm perfectly fine. I feel that that I've completely recovered. There's no aftermath of corona right now, but there is a psychological drawback. I still feel that that mindset is still there, that I'm not as strong as I was before. That's psychological. That's just psychological. I feel that's one thing that I'm trying to overcome. So anyway, this was my experience with COVID-19, and it made me realize that if this could impact me so much, I couldn't imagine the plight of an elderly and people with history of medical ailments, the amount of pain they might go through. So even though this isn't fatal for you, but it surely is impactful. If you get affected with COVID-19, it definitely is going to leave a mark on you. It's going to impact you to some extent. It's going to be disturbing. So it's very important for us to be cautious. Even though everything is open now, we're all going out, everything is back to normal, it's still important for us to be cautious if we don't want to put ourselves through the pain and the mental trauma that COVID can give us. So that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you got the awareness. I hope you learned something from this video, and this might help you in some way. So until I see you again in another video like this, no, I don't want to see you in another video like this. So until I see you again in another interesting video, nothing like this, something else. I'm sorry, I'm blabbering. I think it's time to end the video. See you guys. Take care and stay safe.
Take it.